Yo, what's happening? Who just came into the room? State your name, viewer. What's happening? What's happening? We about to get it in. Jordan Cooper, what's happening, man? Welcome in. I appreciate your time, bro. We're gonna talk about a few things, just getting things ready, and then I'm gonna obviously give some time to let some folks come in. So I got IG over here, and then I got YouTube right here. So let me prep everything up, and we'll get this thing going, man. Welcome in, boss. Good to see you again. I just had to get some. I hope y'all can hear the percussion. It helps me think a little better. All right, let me get my notes together, and I'm gonna start momentarily. All right, Savage Dad in the building. What's happening? What's happening? Savage Nails. A lot of Savage motherfuckers in the building. Welcome to the building. I appreciate it, man. Actor John Halfaker, thank you for your time. And who else I got over here? I got my dude Jordan Cooper on my YouTube. Appreciate it, man. Somebody else just popped in on YouTube. What's happening? Thank you for your time. So, like I've been doing every Sunday at 4 o'clock, this is the bill. Now I know this is the holiday, so this will be, a pretty, I don't want to say quick, but it's a lot more put together, and it's going to be a lot quicker than the usual. Most of the time, I try to get into depth in regards to what we chop it up about. But like I said, it is the holidays, so I want everybody to enjoy the time with the family because I know they're about to go back to work. So I want to mention a few things for us to talk about and think about that are, things that are going on in our lives and things that affect us all as a community, whether it's socially, most importantly, politically, right? And I want to touch on those things. I want to touch on the essence of things because I want them hopefully to start conversations around, your family, your friends, your communities. It's something where I feel that if we were all in a better understanding in regards to the things I'm about to address, which you would like to assume are pretty simplistic, right? It's like it's common sense. It's logical, but at the same time, people fail to see not only the logic but the common sense of if we try our best to do things together, more than likely it'll be more conducive for all of us, as opposed to us, one person separated or people separating and they're hogging resources or this and that. But I will get into more in depth in regards to it. With that being said, I want to pull up for my YouTube guys. I want to pull up my screen share real quick. Where's that thing? I want to pull up my screen share so I can show y'all this picture. What I want to start with is this whole immigration thing. I know y'all have heard about it. You know what I'm saying? I know that it's been a large topic. We have a government shutdown because of it. And so for people who don't know, the government partially shut down because of an immigration conflict and dispute in regards to its reform. So when I say that, the president who's in power right now is suggesting and is proposing to build a wall. And now the other side, Democrats, they are against that wall because they're saying not only will it be a waste of money and resources and time, but it's defeating the purpose, right? And so we all know at the end of the day, in regards to this wall, it really has nothing to do with people coming into the United States. It's just about, a person wanting to create barriers saying this is mine. You know what I'm saying? But now the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I feel that there's something that's going on with us as people in regards to how we perceive. I was just talking to my pops earlier today, and I asked him. I said, why do we as different races of people and culture, white and black, why do we see so differently? Because it's such a disparaging difference that the world, what I'm saying? It's like the world is our effect on how we treat each other ripples through the world, right? So when it's like even in our movies, it's like there's race, there's all this like race things that people have to walk on eggshells about. But the only reason why that's there is because of the tension between the two sides, for whatever reason. So I was asking my pops that, and he was saying, like, we started the conversation months ago, but he continued it today in regards to that our intention. And when I say ours, I'm speaking, I don't want to say I'm speaking on behalf of all dark-skinned people in the world, but what I'm saying is that in regards to how we look at nature, the world, the people that live within it, there's a certain level of compliance that we try to implement in nature and in the world. So for example, when it comes to fishing, when it comes to hunting, when it comes to planting and crops, we have the attitude of always trying to not over excess, not overdo, overfish. You don't over when you picking plants. You know what I'm saying? When you grab you don't grab every fucking apple. You know what I mean? You don't kill every fish. We never thought like that. And then so the exploiting of natural resources was never a thing for us. The only reason why we wore golds and diamonds and whatever jewelry that you see on us is because what we would do is take advantage of the vibrational frequencies and energies that they possess. You know, a lot of that stuff, they conduct energy. You know, they can conduct electrical current, either, you know, hold it or conduct it in some form or fashion. And that's why we would wear things like that. That's why we wore jewelry at all. It wasn't for fashion. It wasn't to look cool. It was for the vibrational benefits it had. You know, for example, y'all remember when when mood rings were in back in the day. Like, y'all remember that when mood rings were in? That same effect that a mood ring has, all pieces of natural resource, all pieces of raw elements have the same type of reactions. Obviously, they all vary, but they all have reactions to it. So I don't know if you ever heard of people who wear certain type of brass or gold, and it helps balance certain levels, you know, the certain like pH, from all sorts of pH levels to different things in their bodies. And some of these are even medically subscribed bracelets, you know, from like I said, from bracelets to earrings to implants, even inside the body. So my point is that even just the way we look at natural resources, from the food to raw elements, for us, it wasn't something to be exploited and sold. It was something for us to use, as for us to better ourselves within nature, right? And not at the expense of nature. And then another thing is that with people weren't just numbers with us, and they still aren't. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, for example, we didn't have prisons. We never had prisons. We never had the concept or the idea of imprisoning someone and putting them in a cage. I'm not saying people didn't get in trouble and people weren't reprimanded when they did something. What I'm saying is that we didn't have prisons. We didn't stack people in the boxes and and just stack them in the shells and throw away the key. We didn't believe in that concept. Another concept is old people, like throwing away old people in retirement homes. We never had retirement homes and nursing homes before colonization. We didn't believe in throwing away our old people. We revere our elders. And the only reason why even that concept of paying homage and respecting elders, that's why it's such a kind of like a universal thing in regards to some religions and even some cultures, from the Native Americans, even some religions, they call the older people who run the church elders. Like I said, for us, those people, we held them in high reverence because of their age and and them being on earth for so long. And even if they were sick or not, they were taken care of by their family. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't thrown in some nursing home. So my point is, with these examples, is that our intentions on the world, they don't correlate. They don't correlate, which is why we have these problems. And so that's why when we have people like Donald Trump who run the country, when they try to implement these type of ways of living and exploitation and profiting, they don't correlate with people like us, because, like I said, for us, that's not how we do things. We've never been like that. But see, the unfortunate thing is that the ones that do run the country and run the world are. So my thing is, it's not about pointing the finger. It's not about just blaming them and talking shit. What I'm trying to do here is for us to, let's break down not only why we've signed up for it, why we live in it, and how we can change it. I feel like that's the only way. When I started this at first, I started this out of frustration and anger. It's like I wanted to just let everybody know, I wanted to let the problem know, fuck you. And then I want to let my people know, like, we got to do something. But see, I started realizing that my intentions, they didn't correlate with my delivery. So then I had to, kind of regroup. So what I did was I started to understand, what is my intent? What am I trying to do here? Am I just trying to let people know the inconsistencies, but then deliver to them while I'm pissed off? And does that give any, are they receptive? Do they understand what I'm saying? So number one, I've been teaching myself to calm down. That's number one. And then number two is that I want to speak to the essence of why we do the things we do, so we can look back in our lives. So it's like after we chop it up here, we go back in our lives and hopefully we implement the things that we can change within our families. Because I feel like that's where it starts. It has to start within. Everything starts within. Like, you have to be a good man at home to be a good man on the street, right? You have to have a clean house to have a clean office, or to live clean in anybody else's house, or to spend the night in someone else's house and you're clean. You know what I'm saying? You have to respect your mother at home if you are to have a good, respectful wife, and you have friends that are girls. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so everything starts at home. Most importantly, everything starts from within. So what I'm going to start off with is just a simple word, or there are two words, but I feel like this is where this all starts off at. What's up, Amber? Welcome in. Cognitive dissonance. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Cognitive dissonance. I feel like that's where a lot of this shit starts. So I'm gonna read the definition and we'll go from there. So cognitive dissonance is experienced by a person who simultaneously holds two or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values. Okay, I'm gonna read it again. Cognitive dissonance. It is a mental discomfort experienced by a person who simultaneously holds two or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values. Now, this discomfort is triggered by a situation in which a person's beliefs clashes with new evidence perceived by that person. Okay, so just to break it down, that is an attitude of believing in two things that don't make sense and they contradict themselves, right? You believe in hot and cold, okay? And then that discomfort is triggered when somebody tells you the truth. So, for example, if you're thinking one is hot, one's cold, and somebody tell you it's hot, you're so mad about the shit because you thought it was hot and cold that all you want to do is create a defense mechanism where it's either you argue or you just, you know what I'm saying? It's like you get pissed off, you don't talk about it. And if you notice, anytime you talk to people about the stuff that I'm talking about, that's usually what happens. For example, if you talk to somebody about Christianity, if you get them on something and they can't answer the question, the first thing they do is get mad at you about it, right? Or they'll give you the pastor's number, like, you need to call my pastor, and he'll answer your question. But they'll do it with an attitude because they are mad that they can't answer, they don't know what they're talking about. So that, I feel like that is what a lot of us live. I feel like that's a lot of us live cognitive dissonance, is that, for example, people like Trump, and people like Trump, they represent a lot of motherfuckers. And these are people who call the United States their home and act as if it wasn't anybody's home before they declared it their fucking home. That's the motherfuckers I'm talking about. That is a level of cognitive dissonance, is when you believe one thing and you believe another. So, number one, and this is, like I said, this time back to that border. This is the discomfort is triggered by a situation in which a person believes clashes with the new evidence perceived by that person. Now, this is what usually happens when you run into cognitive dissonance when you talk to people. This is what happens. This is when it happens, I guess I should say. People love to say, for example, like right now, if I ask anybody in this room, if I say, you know, where you from, right? They'll tell me a town and a city and a state here in America, right? That's what they'll tell me. They'll tell me where they're born. If I ask you right now where you're from, you will tell me where you were born, right? But that's not what I'm asking you. I asked you where you were from. So right there, like I said, that right there, I feel is what is the start of this cognitive dissonance, is when you assume where you're born is where you're from, when essentially that's not the case, right? We all understand that. So, for example, I can't say the same. Like for me, I can't use me because I wasn't born here. But if I talk to just a white person, a white girl, white dude, and I say, where are you born? Oh, where you from? I say, where you from? And they'll say, Piedmont. You know what I'm saying? Piedmont, Oklahoma. And I say, okay, so that's where you were born. Now, where you from? And they're gonna say, no, Piedmont. My family's been there. And then I'll say, okay, so then how long has your family been there? Well, probably, you know, Mayflower, whatever, fucking Puritans, whatever. And I say, okay, then before then, have they always been there? Then he'll say, no, we're from fucking Germany or Yugoslavia or some shit like that. And then I'll say, okay, then that's where you're from, because your roots are not naturally right in the United States. This is just an idea of being from here and this being home, as opposed to actually being from here. So I feel like that's where this stuff starts, is when you have when people have the wrong idea of where the fuck they're even from, or who they are, or who they are. Like, I don't mind people calling themselves American. You can call yourself whatever you want. Just, you know, inside who you are. So if somebody asks you, look, where you from? You can say you're from the fucking moon for all I care. But inside of your mind and your heart, I hope you know that you're not from the fucking moon and you're from a certain area. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to know where you're from. But then if you play this game of I don't know, it's like I feel like it's almost like a mental, it's a mental, it's a game that's fucked up, because it's a mental kind of torture. Because like I said, we get into this situation to where now you want to tell people who are actually from this place where to go and what to do, when they're the ones that are actually from there. And when I said I'm talking about Mexicans, we know the fact that the Texas, the New Mexicos, the Californias, the Houstons, all them shits were all fucking Mexico. We know that. All that shit belonged to Mexico. So my thing is that there's a certain level of irrationality that's going on mentally when you forget that you stole some shit, and then you want to tell the people that you stole it from what to do with it. Like that, I feel like it's not just a problem. It's a very, very big problem, because like I said, it creates these things now where we have somebody who feels that they're entitled to create walls, and then they hinder people's lives in regards to them finding jobs or just finding any type of level of stability. And they've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. Do y'all know how many times Mexicans, Guatemalans, you name it, from Central America to South America to Mexico, you know how many times, you know how long them people have been going up and down, migrating from the South to the Centrals to the North Americas? The same time, they've been doing that as long as the people in Africa were migrating from South Africa to Egypt, traveling, trading, you know what I'm saying? Just living, right? Following their herd, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people do. That's what people do. You migrate, go back and forth, especially if you're from places like that, you're familiar with their, with the resources in the area. And Central America, they got these type of animals and these type of bananas, and they're in season at this time. So this is where we go around this time. So my point is that these people had a natural, not only migration, but it's their natural habitat. Mexicans, Texas is their natural fucking habitat. That's their shit. That's what they're from. That's what they're from. I don't understand why people I don't want to say people forget it. They just choose to ignore and forget that. They forget the fact that there had to be a Mexican and American war for them to solidify the Texas and the Californias and all that shit. It wasn't something that people just walked on some land and said, hey, there's open land and nobody's here. There were people. There's always been people on these lands. And the only reason why there's been any disturbance is because the same people who are trying to make these rules are the same people who came and caused the problem. So you cannot expect the person who caused the problem to fix it. You can expect the guy the dude who burned your house down to come fix your house and rebuild you a house. No, that motherfucker goes to jail, or you whoop his ass and kill him, whatever the fuck you got to do. But that's not the person. The same person who created the problem is not the one that's going to be part of the solution. So my point is that it's people like Trump who came. It's that idea. It's the mentality like Trump, who are colonizers, who come and take shit that it doesn't belong to them. And then it's the people like Trump 100 years later go, I'm going to put a wall around the shit I stole. And then look at everybody else. Go, that's right, because we need to protect ourselves, right? You were the one doing the harming. So that's my thing. Is that You can't expect the motherfucker who started the problem to fix it. That's why for me, it's not about talking to the Trumps and the politicians. It's about talking to y'all. It's about talking to the people, all races, because this is what I realized. This is what I've always tried to tell people. I understand, and I think a lot of people understand that it's not just all white. It's not just all this. It's not just all black. It's not just all Chinese. It's never all anything. It's never all anything. It's about the ones who understand and know and are willing to fight for. That's it. You know how many white people helped the Harriet Tubmans? You know how many white people helped legally too in regards to South Africa and apartheid? You know how many white people helped and shit like that? Who said, man, fuck this. This is not going to be how my people are remembered. This is not who we are. You know what I'm saying? So there are people out there who don't look like me, who will fight for the injustices of people who look like me. It doesn't, I don't just have to speak for my people and my people alone and go, look, I'm just here to defend my people. I'm here for anybody who needs defense, Mexican people included. So what pisses me off too, what is Wolfsbane, he says, too bad people don't understand unity. That's exactly right, bro. That's exactly right. You know, to be honest with you, I feel that, no, you're right. Like, I would like to say that they do understand unity, but they just choose not to. It's like I would like to say that, but you're right. I don't think that they actually even understand the concept of that. Hey, the more we do shit together, the more we create a network, the more things will be easier for all of us, the more conducive. That's all an ecosystem is. That's all nature is that it takes care of one thing and one thing takes care of another, and it goes on and on and on. That's it. There's nothing that powers the sun. There's nothing that powers the trees or the bees, you know, pollinating the fucking plants. Nobody, it just does all that shit themselves. And I'll tell you what, I mean, if you think about it, do you see other animals charging us for doing things for us to be alive? We charge each other just to stay alive. If you don't have money to pay your electricity right now, it's 30-something degrees outside. If you don't have enough money to pay your electricity, they will say to you, you got like 2 weeks. Sorry. That's it. Right? It's 30-something degrees. They'll go, look, it's cold outside. Christmas just passed. We'll give you 2 weeks. Sorry. Without that, you die. We don't see bees or anything on this earth that we know that without it we would die. You don't see them motherfuckers trying to charge us and exploit us. It blows my mind sometimes when we assume that this type of thinking, when we encourage, like, for me, you know how shattering it was for me when I started hearing motherfuckers like Trump, right? Like, people like Trump have always been around, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is that when he came out, more people started being, more people who believed in what he said were like, you know what? Yeah. And they started saying it too. So why I say that, because I was very shocked to see people that I know, that I grew up with, that I thought were my friends, that I thought were damn near family, you know what I'm saying, who are white, who I thought were close, when they started echoing his rhetoric. It, like I said, it's the most shattering, especially, like I said, for people who you think you like, damn, like, I thought we was close. Like, I really thought you understand what it is out here, especially you knowing me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I tell you what my life is. So for someone to, you know what I'm saying, for someone to ignore the acts, like, for me, like the police shootings, you know, not police shootings, the police shootings. Yeah, the police shootings. I thought I said school shootings for some reason. The police shootings, just that alone, for me, if I was black, I'd go, God damn, what is the problem? What the fuck is the problem? Like when I started, for me, I started realizing when I started feeling like, okay, white America doesn't give a fuck about young black kids dying in these streets by the hands of police. When I started realizing that is when I noticed that white women weren't coming out to march, like white mothers, I'm saying, like mothers, like you know what I'm saying, like, you know, that group Mothers Against Drunk Driving, like the motherfuckers weren't out there. You know what I'm saying? Like groups like that. Like I know there was white women out there. It wasn't like a collective of suburban white women going, we understand the plight of these black women. And we are mothers just like them. We need, you know what I'm saying? Like none of that shit. There was none of that. But if it's a gay problem or a lesbian problem, oh man, everybody's there. Oh, everybody's in that bitch. Everybody's in there marching, doing whatever the fuck they got to do. So for me, we have to say, God, you like no more biting your tongue because you want to stay safe and cool and whatever the fuck. No more of that. Because what y'all need to understand is that the more you bite your tongue, the more someone's gonna be talking for you. The more you sit back, the more someone else is gonna be doing all the fucking walking for you. It's not about voting. Savage Dad, tell you this has been the most eye-opening year of my life, bro. If it ain't on the doorstep, it ain't a problem. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know, and I'm glad, Savage Dad, that it's been an eye-opening year for you because that just means you're changing. Like, that's a beautiful thing. And sometimes most of the time, I said something about it the other day. The truth hurts, man. The truth hurts. When somebody tells you about you, or if you know, or if like you hear something that you're like, damn, I don't want to hear this, or even if it's good truth, it's shocking. Whether it's good or bad, like somebody's pregnant. Oh shit, that's good news. It's shocking. That's the truth. It's shocking. The truth is shocking, whether it's good or bad. But it's the more you receive of it, the better. But one thing is for sure is we gotta call things for what they are, folks. We gotta call things for what they are. This is basically what I'm trying to say. The people who are migrating to places like the US. Jordan Cooper said facts. I feel you, man. The people who are migrating to places like the US, who are coming from the Venezuelas, the you know, the Trinidads, the Mexicos, the you know what I'm saying, Dominican Republics. Yo, do y'all understand that these people, they literally make like $2 a month? Every single, I was looking at the stats the other day. Every country in Central America except Puerto Rico is over 15%. If not, I think even more than that, but more than 15% unemployment rate. And it's been that way for the past 40, 50 years. The crime is so ridiculous over there. Like when y'all watch Narcos, that shit is a joke when it comes to places like Venezuela. It's a joke. It's like the Venezuela, them shits is more lawless than the Mexicos. It's like Mexico has more structure than some of them spots down there, man. That's how hard it is down there. And then what kills me the most is that for a group of people, and this is Caucasian people, for a group of people who came onto some other shit, some other people's land, for them to be the ones to tell you where to go when they on some land that they took, blows my fucking mind. That's what gets me the most too, is that based on your experience of you being out, you know, you were down and out, you didn't have shit, and you came to a whole other country, and then you weren't invited in voluntarily either. Or maybe if you did, one thing's for sure is you ended up taking this shit. And then now, 100 years down the line, you want to tell the motherfuckers you took it from and everybody else around them how to handle it and how to control it. You want to tell them who can come in and who can't. Like I said, that is a cognitive dissonance. That is having two beliefs that exist inside of you that don't correlate. That you can come steal some shit, and then you can come tell people who you stole it from what you're gonna do with it and how you're gonna, and who can come in and all that shit. It doesn't make sense. People, do y'all see that? Do y'all see how backwards that is? Why has not one person You know what I mean? Out of all people that asked Donald Trump questions, because we know Mike Pence can't talk. That motherfucker is a puppet. He can't even say that. He don't say shit. He can't talk. I think they got to put batteries in his back. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. He kind of scares me. He looks like a fucking he looks like a grown ass puppet or some shit, like a man puppet, man boy puppet. He look crazy. But anyway, all the people who ask Trump questions, why can't one of them just ask him, sir, don't you think it's a little contradicting when you say we need to create borders in a place that we took, that we stole in the first place? Isn't that strange, sir? Isn't that strange trying to make borders in a place that belong to these people? Don't you think that's strange, sir? When you call this place your home, when actually it ain't your home. You're not from there. You from goddamn Russia, where the fuck you from? Egypt. You from Russia or whatever Trump is. I don't know what the fuck he's from. Yugoslavia. I don't know. I know damn sure ain't Mexico or Texas or any of them shits. The people that are from them places are dark skinned. And like I said, they've been migrating back and forth. So we have to call things for what they are, folks. Just because it is what it is today does not mean yesterday didn't fucking happen. My thing is, don't stab me in the back 9 inches and pull it out 6 and tell me that's progress. I still have a knife in my fucking back. Don't play with me. See, that's the thing. We have to understand that even just the idea of borders, the idea of creating like borders and countries and flags and all that shit, that ain't ours. And it's not even the people who are from those areas, the Mexicos and all them. They didn't have borders. They were all through Mexico and the Texas, Colorado's, California, New Mexico, Montana, Wyoming. They were all through them shits, and then we'll go all the way back down to Mexico, and then go to the Central America, because you could do that. You can do that. This is like who the fuck? How you gonna tell me where the fuck I can go? Who the fuck are you? You didn't make this shit. You didn't make it. All you doing is just telling people what to do on it. So we have to, we gotta call it for what it is. We have to call it for what it is. And we gotta teach our kids this shit. You gotta tell your kids, yes, you live in America, baby, but you're from fucking Germany. That's where you're from. Yes, you were born here, but you're from Germany, right? And dark-skinned people, tell your kids too. Well, you might be from here. You might be one of the Native Americans that have been here, or you might be from Africa, baby. We need to figure it out. You were born here, but you were from there. Don't tell them that they're from here. You confusing the shit out of your kid. Your kid gonna walk up to a Mexican and say, no, this is my shit. And the Mexican gonna say, no, it ain't. We've been here. The fuck are you talking about? But it's what I'm saying, like, people like Trump, that's the thing they do, is that they have selective memory, right? They forget what they steal, and then they want to pull the shit back out and act like it's theirs in front of everybody at a party, like, yeah, man, check your shit out. You like, bro, you stole that shit. You're like, what are you talking about? Nah, I ain't steal the shit. Like, we got to call it for what it is, folks. We have to call it for what it is. And then what makes it even worse, if you think about it, the borders that we have, the territories that we have, it wasn't even dictated by the people that are confined by them. For example, where I'm from, in Africa, the South Africans to the Botswanas or whatever, like, for example, in South Africa, we have provinces. I think we have 7 provinces. Provinces are like, almost like states in a sense. But we didn't pick motherfuckers. And it's our shit. The word South Africa, we didn't pick that shit. And it's our shit. Right now, there's a place, well, they changed the name. It's called Gauteng now, but it used to be called Johannesburg. And I'm glad they changed it. It used to be called Johannesburg. Johannes. Who the fuck is Johannes? That shit is not native to Africa. Johannes? That shit ain't native to fucking Africa. But our shit was called Johannesburg. after a fucking British guy or whatever, a dude, Johannes. I don't give two shits to go look his ass up. But I know it was from some asshole who didn't own the shit and wanted to slap his name on. This is a level of cognitive dissonance, of taking two beliefs and believing in them, and they are contradicting themselves the whole time. You call what you stole your home, and you've been there. We got to call these things for what they are. Because the thief would love to forget what he stole. I understand that. But the victim will never forget. The victim will never forget. What's up? What's up with it? Shawana, good to see you. Hip Hop Nation, good to see you. Yeah. You know, the thief would love to forget. They want to forget. They want to forget that they colonized this shit. They want to forget that they created things like slavery. They want to forget that they fucked up the Native Americans. They want to forget that they fucked up the Mexicans and Central America. They want to forget all that shit. But you have to understand, all those people who were victimized, all those different cultures and races of people will never forget. Will never forget. And then number two, the biggest thing that got the redheaded weirdo dude to run this country was the fact that a lot of people, what's up with a DJ? A lot of people who, like I said, who believed in what he does, who want to take it back to the times America was great again. And we all know what that means. We all know what that means, to make America great again, right? We know exactly what that means. DJ. So the main reason why these people elected this man is because they were saying, especially for Trump, they were saying that he was a businessman. They were saying that we need a businessman to run this shit. That's number one. They were saying he's a businessman. And then number two, they said, he's not a politician. He's never done this shit before. We need fresh eyes on the situation, right? You know, like, why should we grab somebody who knows what they're doing? Dude did go into bankruptcy like 10 times. And while that was going on, he still had money. He still had plenty of money. But you know, it's those games where you claim bankruptcy so you can hold on to as much as you can while you hide all the other shit. But yes, you're absolutely right, DJ. So number one is because he was a businessman. He was so good with business. Like he's just a killer. Like Shark Tank ain't got shit on this man. And then number two, he was he was a businessman. And then number two, he had no experience, no political experience. That's beautiful. We need that. We don't need you to know shit about this, because we want you to come in and just be like, what the fuck's going on? I don't know. But we need you to not know shit. We want you to have the least amount of experience. Yeah. So let's focus on the businessman part first. And we understand what business means, right? I'm gonna put this up real quick. What is it? We'll say capitalism. Capitalism. We'll just look up the definition. Okay, capitalism is an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by state. Okay, free enterprise, private enterprise, the free market, enterprise culture, the capitalism of emerging nations. Okay, so the reason I pulled up, because I wanted to know, you know, just the aspects of business, right? The essence of business. Capital accumulation, wage labor, voluntary exchange. It's based on a price system and competitive markets. Okay. Man, there's just so much to say there, bro. Okay, look, I'll start here. For us to assume that, okay, when you go to your job, and even if you're doing a good job, right? Is it fair to say that sometimes you can go to work, walk into your office like it's a normal day, and the next thing you know, your boss is sitting you down in the office going, hey, we need to talk. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm never late. I bring this motherfucker Apple every day. Like, what's the problem, right? And then they ended up telling you that they need to downsize. Here's your severance. Good luck. Shakes your hand and tells you good luck with the newborn that's coming too, right? And that's it. That's business. Now, you have no idea why you were just fucking laid off. You were fired. You have no idea why you were just laid off, right? But you're assuming it's because they had to. Why? Because you've been there for a while and the motherfuckers care about you, right? That's what you feel like, at least. But what you don't know is that the fucking GM or the CEO, CFO made the call to trim the fat a little bit. Why? It's because they wanted to hit their fucking annual profit margin. So trim the fat a little bit for me. Yeah, no, just Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, trim the fat over there. And you just lost your goddamn job. My point is this. Let's correlate that to life, right? Because if the president is going to be running the country consists of people, and people are living within society. So let's correlate that to life. If you get fired in life, what the fuck does that mean? You get laid off in life, what does that mean? You see, for us to assume, for us to start perceiving ourselves and other people as just dollar signs and ones and zeros is not only taking us further down this shithole, but like I said, it should tell us exactly what people think about us and what time it is. Like you have to know what time it is. If people are looking, if people say what needs to be controlling you is someone that deals with something that has nothing to do with human beings and you know, and their concerns and their issues, and it's like if you were a fucking a baseball coach or basketball coach, and then you had a fucking zoo trainer come teach your kids how to play baseball. Like that motherfucker's used to fucking with animals. How is he gonna correlate how he teaches animals how to teach kids? Because you have to be able to understand that you're dealing with people. People have personalities, people have lives, this and this and that. You got to know how to manage people, right? But when it comes to life, it's not about just X's and O's. It's not about being hired or fired. There's a lot more to life than that. And then on top of that, it's like in business, it's not about concern, empathy, but life is all about concern and empathy. In business, it's not about a compromise, meeting someone halfway. In business is get as much as you can, as quick as you can. In life, it's about, you know, paying it forward, right? It's about networking, community. In business, it's about just networking just so I can look good. Fuck with me just so I can make more money. So, you know, it's like we can't correlate running a strip club and running a fucking camp, a church camp. That's two different shits. One, you are building future. You're building people's mind. You're building the young kids' minds. You're shaping their minds for the future. In the strip club, you're exploiting people. If you run a hotel business, real estate business, you're exploiting people and land all at the same time. So what the fuck you think that motherfucker gonna do when he gets to run a country? Do the same shit. Exploit the land and the people. That's what real estate is. I buy something cheap off some land. You don't know how much I spent, but I guarantee I'm gonna sell it for a lot more than I bought it for. And we know too that he's been charged with discrimination for not renting in his high-rise apartments and shit, for not renting to black people in the 70s, mid-70s and 80s. We know he was charged for that, and he had to pay fines. Y'all, hold on 1 second. I need to get a drink. This is the drink of the gods right here, man. This is blueberries, bananas, apples, pineapples, and water. That's it. That should taste better than fucking Snapple. So we have to understand, people. It's all about the money, DJ. Amber said Europe is where I saw culture and acceptance. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's your home. You know what I mean? Like, and ain't nothing wrong with that. That's cool. Yeah, like you're absolutely right. When we came back to America, I was in shock. Everyone seemed so disconnected. That's exactly what it is, because they're not connected to their shit, you know? And let me know which parts of Europe you went to, and then let me know where you're from too in Europe. I'm curious. So yeah, like we got to call things what they are, yo. And like I said, like running a firm, running a business, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's got nothing to do with community. That's got nothing to do with running community. It's got nothing to do with, school shootings and how to deal with it. It's got nothing to do with religious-based issues. Because with the businessman, he don't give a fuck why you mad. As long as he gets what he wants out of that situation, that's it. But see, a politician, well, I don't want to say politician, because even, a politician is a piece of shit. We need a person who is just a man, just a good man, a normal fucking man would say, listen, we need to figure out what the issue is and let's break it down. What is your issue? What is this? And let's talk about it. But see, with Trump, he's a businessman. What a businessman does is they'll go to both parties and go, what can you give me? And whatever, if I can benefit from what you can give me, then I'll help you out. That's what a businessman does. So we have to understand that it's not about people. If a businessman runs the country, it's about numbers. It's about numbers. It's about profit margins. But then what makes it even worse is it's not even a businessman who's actually good at business. I'd understand if it was a Bloomberg, someone who's actually good at business, but we know that motherfucker is not good at business. Trump Foundation, under fucking investigation. Inaugural Foundation, under investigation. Inaugural Foundation, under investigation. Like I said, he's been penalized numerous times for discrimination violations. 10 bankruptcies, DJ said. I can keep fucking going. I can keep going. Everybody's starting to hear. Y'all notice you don't ever hear about this motherfucker's dad? You don't ever hear about Donald Trump's daddy. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why do you not ever? I don't think I've ever seen a picture of Trump's dad. Not even one picture. I haven't heard a story. I haven't heard not one story about where he's from, what he did, how he got him the millions. Not one thing. Why? 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 Why do we not know? Yo, they even talked about Obama's daddy, and Obama's daddy is in Africa. He's in Kenya, in the middle of nowhere, and they found him, found his brother, put him on camera and everything. They're all in Africa, and they found them. Donald Trump's daddy is here in the States. I don't know if he's probably dead now, but still, you don't hear shit about him. You don't hear no stories about where's he from. You don't know shit. Y'all need to ask yourself why. You need to ask yourself why. Heinz 57, Saudi Arabian and French Spanish, Northern Plains, Blackfoot Indian, Choctaw, and Cherokee. So my very far back roots would be Scotland and Asia. Right on, right on. She said Heinz 57. So yeah, man, it's like, for me, the second thing, we touched on how business doesn't correlate with people and the managing of people. We understand that, right? Because business, there's no conscience, there's no empathy. With people, you need empathy and conscience, right? We understand that, especially for somebody who doesn't understand other people's cultures. The last thing you want is the last thing that needs to be governing and overseeing the fucking country is somebody who has the least amount of fucking diversity as friends. How many black friends do you think Donald Trump has? How many Mexican friends do you think Donald Trump has? How many Indian friends do you think Donald Trump has? I bet you money he ain't got not one. I bet he knows some, but he doesn't have any. So my thing is that should be revealing to us. That should tell us something. That should tell us something. And then in regards to how he is the least experienced, I never knew that it's a good idea to get, like, if I need an operation right now, it would be a good idea for me to grab a doctor who has no experience, or let's just grab somebody who's not a doctor or who's never been a doctor, and let's get some fresh eyes on this. Like, is that how we do things now? Is that one of the most important positions? We get somebody who has the least experience. That's what's popping. Like, the logic, we got to call it for what it is. We got to call it for what it is. So I'm going to do like a quick closing and then I'll let y'all go. So with that being said, for me, I'm going, we have to, talking to our kids and talking to each other is the only way that we can change this. Because the idea that you take some shit, you forget you took it, and then you want to dictate and tell people what you're going to do with it, especially to the people you stole it from. That idea of having that conversation without bringing up those evident facts, that shit has to stop. If it doesn't stop, there has to be more people that are doing what I'm doing. There has to be more people that are doing what I'm doing. Since I got a minute and a half. We have to start speaking up. Whether you're talking to a group of people or you're having a conversation like this, we have to start speaking up. We have to start acting the way we want the world to be, right? A lot of people feel like they don't have enough power, or they don't have enough opinion, or don't have enough influence. And you might be right, but there's nothing wrong to try. There's nothing wrong, like I said, to have a conversation like this with someone else, because you might talk to somebody who can make a difference. You might speak to somebody and spark something within them, and they make a difference. But that's where it has to start, is that we have to believe in it. And then we have to speak it into existence, manifest it out there, and then boom. We have to fight for it. And when I say fight for it, I don't mean the most generic, barbaric way. I mean intellectually. We have to fight for it academically. We have to fight for it spiritually. Most importantly, politically. We got to know the rules of the game. We have to understand, y'all, that just because we know English, it doesn't mean we know English. Like I said in my other video the other day, I'm talking English right now, but I could put you in a courtroom and still speak English, and you wouldn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You would have to pay a lawyer to tell you. You'd have to pay a lawyer to tell you. Right on, Amber. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate your time. You got to pay a lawyer to tell you. So we have to understand, folks, that That is for a reason why even normal English that we know, that you can go into another room and it's gibberish to you. They did that shit on purpose. So no, there's a lot of shit going on that we have to know about. All right, I got 6 minutes or 6 seconds. Thank y'all for your time. I appreciate it. Happy New Year. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.